Hey, got a good one for y'all. As y'all know, at the drop of a dime, I can be doing anything. Man job is never over, but hey, that's what makes a man a man. If you're getting tired, take you a break. Reset, start over, and get back to work. It's okay. But yeah, stay tuned. I got a good one for you. It's in the garage again. Based off the last video, if you watched it, that was my pops. But this time, I went a step farther. I grabbed a kid out the neighborhood. The same thing that I told you to do last time, I went and did it myself. To give y'all a little bit more faith in yourself to go out and do the same. You know, and that's whatever you're doing, whether you're cutting grass or whatever it may be. You know, get you something going. A little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. But stay tuned and check this technique. Hey, let's find this zero guard. All right, when you're starting, inspect your client's head. You're looking at head shape, hair texture. You're looking at everything. This client, he wants an undercut because he's gonna get dreads on top. So what I'm doing right here, I'm separating what can be gripped on top and what can be cut down on the side. And you want to just separate it right where the head drops. You don't want to get too much on top of the head. It'll look funny. So just take your time and separate it the best you can. Going in with our corded Andis Masters, we have our one guard on, lever closed, and right where you separate it, you want to put your guard nose right down on it and just slowly but surely get rid of all the bulk. We're doing a ball drop fade, so I want to be able to see the shape of his head. That's why I'm taking down the bulk. That's why I'm not going in with my liners first to go ahead and create that first guideline for the drop fade. As you're doing this, you just want to take out time to analyze the client's head. Just look at the shape of it, the texture. Just take it all in. You're not trying to be perfect right now. You're trying to see. You're giving yourself a guideway to see. Once you got all that bulk down, you just want to go in and start to create that first ball guideline. We're doing it with our Andis Masters, lever closed. And the reason why we're doing it is because we want to make a soft ball guideline. We're going to make it soft so we can easily take out that lining once we get to that. But we'll go ahead and slowly but surely, it takes time to learn how to put in a shape with clippers because they're bigger than clippers. They're not precise like liners. You know, that's what liners are made for, to put in a nice shape. But keep working on it and use your corners, use your wrist control to help you get that shape in just how you trying to get it. Take your time. It's not a race. You're not trying to be perfect. The whole time you're just analyzing and just taking your time with it, letting the clipper cut. So don't get ahead of yourself. Be in the step that you're in right now. Continue to comb through the hair as you're doing this. Continue to dust. Keep a clean canvas, because like we said, it's all about visuals, what you're seeing. So the cleaner you are, the better it'll be for you. Going in with our corded and this T outliners, and we're gonna go ahead and ball that bottom part out. We're gonna make sure it's smooth, but we're not gonna press hard. We're gonna let the clippers do the work. Remember, the way the hair is growing and go against that. That's how we're gonna get that thing smooth, nice and even down there. The smoother you get it down here, the better your fade is gonna turn out. So be consistent and just work your way on around, and just, hey, use your barber eye. Just make sure you don't go into all the way into the guideline that you set in. You can press against it, but just don't set in a harsh guideline. As you can see, I'm just going up, I'm tapping, and I'm coming back down. So just be consistent with that all the way around, and your fade is going to come out great. All right, we got a situation, and you may run into this, so take note. Whenever you have somebody who have a dry scalp or any type of buildup or anything, and you don't have the convenience of washing, like I said, you're a beginner, you want to get some toner, and which is some alcohol or some witch hazel. This is witch hazel I'm using, and you want to comb through. Then you want to dry it dry it out real good, go all the way around, just dry it all the way through. Then you're gonna come back with some moisturizer. I use Vaseline to put that moisture back in after I did the witch hazel and dry it off. That's just gonna bring that scalp back. Then once you get it in there really well, once you get that Vaseline, or the standard is the olive oil spray that you get from the beauty supply store, any type of moisturizer, then you want to come back and you want to dry that up too as well, because that Vaseline is it's gonna stick. So you want to get the excess, because you still got to do the cut. You don't want it too greasy, and this is gonna help you to finish that cut and make sure you give the client the best cut as possible. And this is just things that you have to do sometimes when you don't have a wash bowl or you haven't made it to that point yet. But hey, no worries. Just have this in your bag of tricks and tools in order to get through a nice cut. All right, all that prep work about to pay off. We're gonna crack our clipper, barely crack it open to start the first half of our fade. If you got the Andis Masters or the Cordless, it's the second 2 notches showing, and we want to go up a 1/2 inch to break into the first half of this fade. You want all guidelines clean, so you're going to rep them over them 2 to 3 times. You know, use your barber eye. Make sure your guidelines are clean. Second thing is, all guidelines got to be consistent, the same shape, same size. Use your corners. Be smooth with your wrist in order to get that desired shape. Whatever shape you put in, whatever shape you started off first, you want to stay consistent all the way up. Okay, now you want to open your blade all the way up and staying consistent. All the rules still apply, and we want to go up another 1/2 inch and continue to be smooth while you're putting these guidelines in. Yeah, you want to be able to see them, but you don't want to put in hard guidelines. You want to go in hitting right below where you were just putting that guideline in, and then you want to come up to put your second guideline in. So you want to hit below to hit where you're trying to get, and that just gives you a nice smoother motion when it comes to blending this fade in. And now we're closing it up, and we're doing the same thing. We're going where it's bald at to hit where we had our clippers cracked at. So we want to hit below, using your corners and just being nice and smooth with your strokes. You want to be firm, but you don't want to be too firm, and you don't want to be too timid. So continue to work on your strokes, and you can hear it. That's the thing about the Andis Masters. You can hear it putting in that work. So continue to use your ears, use your vision to see how the hair is going through the blade, and paying attention if you need to change your blade, or even if you need to tune your Andis Masters up. So you want to pay attention to all of that, because it should be cutting. You shouldn't have to force it to cut, and that goes for any clipper. A clipper should do what it was made to do, and if it's not, we need to do some reevaluating. We need to either change clippers or see how can I make this clipper better. And for me, it's the Andis Master. So let's get into it. E got the 1 guard on, and we're going to continue to do exactly what we've been doing. And we're going to have that lever closed. We're going to go up a 1/2 inch, staying consistent with the same shape, with the same size, and hitting below where we was just at on the first half to get into the second half to create that inch guideline. So just continue to be smooth, and the only thing changes is that we're into the darkness of the hair, and you want to be able to retain that darkness to have just a gradual, a real nice change from light to dark. Now we're gonna crack that clipper all the way open, and we're gonna go ahead and finish off the second half of the fade, the top part up here. And this is an important part, because if you don't blend that light into the dark just right, it can break your fade. It can make your fade, and it can break your fade. So take your time, continue to be smooth with it, continue to just finesse and use your corners. And I break out with a comb when I get into the dark, dark part, and it depends the texture and all of that stuff. I can't quite tell you when to use a comb, but I know when the hair gets longer and it gets thicker, you want to break out that comb to direct the hair to make sure it's laying down. Sometimes a brush, it lays it down, but it don't direct it, you know, depending on the hair. And here we go. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for the zero guard. And as you can see, that middle part of the fade, when I'm talking about when it goes from light to dark, it looks choppy if you don't, it looks blotchy if you don't pull out that zero guard. That's why I say we're trying to find the zero guard, because your zero guard is going to bring you home. Every time it's going to bring you home. So follow those steps. Follow the first half steps. Follow the second half steps to find that zero guard. When you find that zero guard, it's nothing but you using the corner of your blade, the tips of your blades to go at that hair at angles, at different angles. You're opening and closing, just open that zero guard to go ahead and stretch. And as you can see, it's blending together very nicely. Oh yeah, I want to put this in. Make sure you're oiling your clippers in between appointments, and you know, if it's not cut, seem like it's not cutting right, put some oil in your clippers. Make sure that blade is you know, rotating the right way. That oil is going to help you out. But this zero guard is what we're trying to find, and as you can see, it's just a beautiful transition from light to dark. Follow those steps. Follow those steps. Be consistent with them. Take your time. Don't be in a rush, and just watch how that fade comes together. You shouldn't have to force a fade in. It should come smoothly if you just take your time. Trust your steps. Trust what you're doing. Take a closer look in. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm telling you, find that zero guard and do the same thing all the way around. All the way around. Same thing. Don't change nothing. You don't want to change anything because the hair changes for you. Each side of a person's head is different. You're going to notice that as you continue on in your barbering journey, the hair shifts to a different way, and one side is going to be easier to put in the fade than the other. But as you keep doing that, as you being consistent with your client, it's going to get easier to fade that side that's not quite like the other side. Okay, once we get our fade in, we want to take a break. We want to rest our eyes from it, and we go to the lineup. We're putting in our vertical bars first, and I call it my sloppy copy. We're going in for the sloppy copy. We hit those vertical bars, as you can see, and then we're going to go directly in the middle, and we're going to come over to the left, and then we're going to start back in the middle, and then we're going to come all the way to the right. You can do either way is fine, whichever way you're comfortable. And that's how you want to do it. You want to tap it in. You want to give yourself a frame out work, something to look at. Definitely when you have those harder lineups. And I'm not gonna cut the front of his hair down because he said he's gonna get it twisted up. I want what the beautician, whatever she can grip, I want it to grip. He didn't tell me to cut it down, so I didn't. I just gave him a nice lineup up there. And maybe next time, you know, it'll be twisted up. Therefore, I can cut down what's not going to get gripped. Okay, going in for the C cups. And same thing. We're headed towards the furthest hair down to make that shape. We're not trying to get it perfect off jump. We just trying to get a sloppy copy in. And that's what helps keeps you from pushing people back. And also having a clipper like the corded T outliner, or just a clipper that's powerful and that, you know, is zero gap properly, will save you from pushing people back as well. So you have to put those things together for yourself in order to keep from pushing people back and to put in a nice lineup. And you won't see me do it here, but once I put in my lineup and I have just a visual of what my client's hairline look like, I step back, I analyze, and then I go in to perfect it of the best of my abilities. And you know, you're gonna run into so many different hairlines, and your objective is you never want to push anybody back. You want to keep their hairline as natural as possible, but you want to perfect something that's imperfect without going in too hard. And that's all a lineup is. And doing this sloppy copy method helps me to hold the integrity of somebody's line, and just helps me not to push anybody back. And when I go in that sloppy copy and then I pull back, when I'm come back in my mindset, I'm just tapping whatever I'm fixing, whatever I gotta push back a little bit. It's a centimeter. It's not even that. I'm just tapping it in slowly but surely to make sure that lining is long term, long lasting. And a lot of times, man, if you can get a good trim over your lineup, you got to be careful when you do this. It's really not the lineup itself. It's the hairs that hang over that prevents you from having a good line. So you want a steady hand when you're hovering right above this line to knock down those little straggly hairs. Therefore, when somebody get in the shower or they brush their hair, man, that lineup is so solid, and you know, and it lasts for a long time. You almost don't even need a razor. Okay, this is your special time, your time to shine, because you got the lineup in. And so once you put that lineup in and you don't got a break from looking at this fade, and plus the lineup is just gonna bring that fade out even more, as you can see, you want to go in for detail work. And I'm kind of stretching that skin up at the top of his head just a little bit, just to you know, stretch that hair out to give me a better look at those dark areas. And I'm just using the corner of my blades, as you can see, to smooth out those dark spots. Man, it's all about that middle section right now, just from dark to light. You know, that's just, if you can gradually get that together, man, and just do this spot check with the corner, tilting your clippers, and just I love the Andis Masters because it's a sound check thing for me, man. Like, you can hear them when they're hitting hair. You can hear, you know, if they won't let you waste your time. And they're just so all purpose. You know, I can do this clawing method right here, and I can just smooth down a whole section without, you know, any effort, you know, just a flick of the wrist. And if I can do detail work in big bulk, that's the type of clipper that I want. You know, if I can just do it all with one clipper, that's what I want. And you can see that raking technique too that I just did. When I'm flicking up like that, when I'm flicking up, that's that raking technique. And man, just wrist work. Just use this Andis Master to, you know, just to conquer all. And you want to do the same thing around, just like, you know, we said before, detail work all around, taking your time and just using your barber eye. Go ahead and ball that bottom out even more, and you'll be able to see spots that you didn't before, just because you got a cleaner canvas. And the cleaner you get this down here, the better. So just detail work, and don't worry about speed right now. That'll come. You just make sure you're hitting all your notes. You just make sure you're hitting all your steps. He didn't need a razor, but hey, I'm gonna go in just because I got one. I know how to use it. I'm gonna just make sure this line lasts even longer. And you want to stay at a 45-degree angle. 1, 2, 3 count. 1, 2, 3 step back. So if you're not that good with a razor right now, that counting pattern will help you. 1, 2, 3 step back. 1, 2, 3 step back. Stretching the skin, holding that razor at a 45-degree angle. And if you're still struggling, pull out some clear shaving gel. That'll help you you know, have less friction to let that razor slide. 1, 2, 3 count, 45-degree angle. Just letting that blade slide on the skin is all you want to do. Pulling that skin back and making sure that skin is tight, and make sure your hold on the blade is firm. So if you have a loose hold on your blade and you're not bringing that skin to tension, that's what makes it snag that hair and makes nicks, possibly can, you know, have a gash. So you want to hold that razor firm in your hand. You want to hold that skin, pull that skin firmly in your hand to give that razor blade a nice flat tight surface to glide on. Continue to practice that, and that's what's going to make you a pro at the razor. After you do razor work, some hair has a tendency to come over the line. It's going to expose that hair that's hanging over. So you just go back in and you get it. It's all about detail work. You go back in smooth. And the thing about the C cups too, while I'm here, a lineup or fade or anything, that wrist motion, if your wrist motion is not well, it's going to show up in your cuts. If your wrist motion is not smooth, it's going to show up. So continuing to work on just your touch, how smooth you are with your liners and with your clippers, hey, it's gonna show. And as you can see, man, we smooth, and that's the whole objective, is to be smooth. You're smooth, you're gonna get a smooth cut, just like this right here. And you see we got a fly in the camera view. That's okay, because we're beginners. That's okay. This is where we starting at. We starting from the garage, but greater is coming. Just trust and believe. Greater is coming. Stay at it. Stay doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Cut where you can cut. It don't matter, man. Hey, I love y'all. God bless.
All right, guys. It's been about a week, and once a week I'll go through and I'll clean my stuff up like a deep cleaner. I always clean out the hair out of my brush, and like I said, this setup is just for this. So this comb and this brush I use on every client. So after every appointment, I got a microfiber cloth, and what I'll do, I get all the hair out. You want to get all the residue out, anything that's built up in it, and get all of it off. Then you want to spray your brush and spray your comb. That's after every appointment. But it's been a week, so I even have my duster sitting in my what is this stuff called? I'm gonna get the real name. And it kills all germs, bacteria. I think it's like a 10 to 15 minutes. 10, I know 10 at the minimum, but I do 15 minutes to make sure we getting all the bacteria off of my stuff. And I also just grab everything that's used. You gotta get the hair off. Submerge. We got our guards. Gotta make sure you get. And I'm gonna leave the link in the description below, and on all the videos. If you look in the link, everything that I'm using, you'll find it in the links. You'll find the links in the description below. Like I said, it's been a week. So, and I haven't used my 3 or 4 guards, so I'm not gonna put those in there. Oh yeah, and you want a hard plastic to dispose of your razors, your detachable razors. So, something to where, you know, you won't put it in a trash bag and cut somebody or cut yourself. That's very, very important, because, you know, using that razor, you're actually, you're not breaking the skin, but you're getting close, scratching the surface of the skin, and you don't want to scratch yourself with a razor that you've used or that you haven't used. You don't want to break any skin, period. And so something hard, and when you dispose of them, you want them in something hard like this. You don't just want to put them in a bag. That's very dangerous. So this is the way I clean my stuff. Like I said, 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be good. Take it out, let it air dry, and also your clippers. Brush that hair off really well. I didn't use these. I just used the Masters. And the T outliners. So that's what we're gonna do. Good. Go back, drop of oil, that's enough. There we go. Those are the only two I use. About wraps it up, y'all. And you want to do this right here once a week. And they have containers for this, but I just had this laying around, so this is what I use. Like I said, it's for beginners. It's a beginner setup. So that's how we have it. That's about it, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all learned something. Matter of fact, I know you learned something from it. Definitely if you're a beginner, I know you learned something from it. So